WIFTBPM.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what?
No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, when they're older, and you're like, oh, no, this is your stepbrother, stepsister. Like, nah, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. Ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WIFTBPM.
Been trying to reach you all day. What's the deal? Keep it real, baby. You can't even pick up and call me. Matter of fact, at this point, I just feel that you're trying to play me for a fool. Baby, that ain't cool. No, that ain't cool. See, you've been running around like you've been single, looking for a good time so you can mingle. Got me out here looking stupid. You out here with your bow like a cupid, but I guess it's cool. Guess I was just another hit on your hit list, another good time that you wouldn't miss. That's what we got. That's what we got. Petty love, petty love, petty love, petty love, petty love. Yeah. Oh, now you're trying to reach me. Just the other day, you call yourself trying to treat. Now it's can we talk, oh baby, can you see? Cause you can't take what I'm doing. Is that cool? Now that ain't cool. But I blame myself for all these feelings that I felt. You were nothing but a savage. Seeking on those you could scavenge. This thing I thought was real turned out to be nothing more than a feel. It's petty love, petty love, petty love, petty love. Ooh. Petty love, petty love, petty love. That's what we got. Yeah. Why'd you have to hurt me, boy? I thought you were so deserving, boy. You took my love for granted, boy. I'll just take this as a lesson, boy. Petty love, petty love, petty love. That's what we got. Petty love, petty love, petty love. But I blame myself for all these feelings that I felt. You were nothing but a savage, seeking on those you could scavenge. This thing I thought was real turned out to be nothing more than a feel. Petty love, petty love, petty love. That's what we got. Yeah. Petty love, petty love, petty love. That's what we got.
And you can tell them, May said, we want to know what's in it for the black people.
I could see it in your eyes. You've been hurt way too many times, baby. And if I'm being honest, yeah. I can tell, girl, that you want this, yeah. But I can only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see. But don't make this too hard, yeah. Cause I still want you right next to me. Girl, it's plain to see, yeah. Don't play with it. Baby, life's too short, gotta make a decision, yeah. It's time to make up your mind, girl. You gotta make up your mind, girl. You don't have to say a word. Writing's all over your face, yeah. You don't have to hurt no more. Just give me your love. You don't hold back and let it go. But I'ma only wait for so long, girl. Giving us both some space so we can see. But don't make this too hard, yeah. Cause I still want you right next to me. Girl, it's plain to see, yeah.
listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts. Man, Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up to seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Todd Stroger in the building. He got his fresh, what are those, man? What kind of glasses are those, man? Givenchy? Gucci, Prada, or Walgreens Deluxe?
I think it's Roscoe Reddy's.
Yeah. Roscoe Reddy's from Walgreens.
From Walgreens, yes.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you what. I be walking past the reader line, the reader glasses at Walgreens. Be like, I need them, but I can't buy them. I need them real bad, but I can't buy them.
You don't need them. You wear glasses.
You wear glasses.
But I have my contacts in. That's the only way. If I didn't have contacts, I'd have got hit by a car just crossing the street.
Believe it or not, today I can read better because I got my bifocals on.
There you go.
Now I got bifocals on, and this is about the only version I'm gonna rock because the other ones look like bottle caps. And it's just like, y'all still remember all the kids we used to push in the dirt. And you know what we used to do to the kids with bottle cap with bifocals?
What?
Used to lick our fingers and then smudge them. And
Bolingbrook was different because it wasn't like that on Black Soul.
Man, I feel like the bifocals, I can't say all the words that came along with bifocals, but boy, I just think how terrible we were as kids. And I just never want the abuse that we shared. I got mine back. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, bifocals.
I told you, I grew up in the greatest place in the world.
Where?
What?
Where?
Avalon. We didn't have those type of problems.
No, that's right. You just couldn't wear your Pittsburgh Pirates hat. That's all.
Oh no, well yeah.
That's the greatest place in the world unless you were a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. All right, y'all. This is the Mace Jackson Show. That's my man Todd Stroger coming in. Look like you got on a golf shirt, man. What is that? Is that his XU golf shirt too?
We'll go with this as an XU golf shirt. Yeah.
I was like, do they even got golf courses at XU?
Well, they do have a golf team. Yes.
Where do they golf at? They got to go to another school to golf?
You know how many schools actually have golf courses?
Probably U of I.
Like probably a handful.
Okay. So where do y'all go golf?
Oh, I don't know.
Do they even let y'all on the country clubs in Louisiana where the good golf? You know, there's y'all course over there.
Like Jackson Park, they have a city park, which has 2 courses. I'm going to guess that they probably golf on the city course.
You didn't play on the school golf team?
We didn't have a golf team when I was there.
Got it.
They have expanded. That's how it is. You go to a school and you leave, and then 10 years later you look back and say, "Dang, why didn't we have all that stuff?"
XU rocks the house. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Amen.
Ruthie Mo, how you feeling today? Ruthie had me living in an optical illusion today. Every time I look at her, she's seeing my shirt, and it's the light pushing the glass to the thing, and so it's like you have a halo of my shirt
halo
on you too.
I'm angelic.
You're an angel?
I'm angelic.
Not
quite
the
an
angel
angel.
of death.
Absolutely.
Well, that is
I'm
a
telling
job.
you. I'm just telling you.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna tell you, it's gonna be a time when Ruthie, you know, like in the movies, where like Ruthie gonna be behind you. And you
No.
gonna be like, "Damn."
They're going to be like, "Hey, Ruthie."
Right, and then it's gonna be like,
That's all right. That was my human resources director.
At least they ain't like the Grand Reaper.
you're right. You do it with a smile. I'll
That's what
cut your
I'm saying.
throat. I'm
I'd
gonna
rather be
let
the
you.
angel of death than the Grand Reaper.
It all equal dead. Right? It
Yeah,
all
but at
equal-
least
In the
one,
end.
you know it's coming. It might be your time.
Okay, I'll give you that.
I walk around with a pocket full of lamb's blood.
Does it get messy in your pocket? Like, what do you carry it in so that it doesn't bust?
Man, you gotta have a little vial, lamb's blood in there.
Speaking of vial, you know what? What do you ever wonder what people do with the ashes of people?
No, they put them on their one of those things you have
A
little shelf
urn,
things.
a mantle urn.
Yeah, your
They
urn in
spread
there.
them out in the water.
So I've been doing some research on this. How many pounds of ashes do you think someone gets?
It's not a lot. Most of it is like the coffin and
How much? How much?
other
So when
combustibles.
when they give you the bag, how big do you think the bag is?
It's a little bit up in there.
No. How big do you think the bag is? Okay.
Let's see. Taking out some from my cousin. No. I'm gonna say a bag is probably like about 7 pounds.
4 pounds.
4.
4 pounds of ashes. What the heck do you do with 4 pounds of ashes?
You get some, I get some.
And what do you do?
We
with it?
smoke some.
Look,
Smoke some.
you know what? I was just thinking,
wear it.
like, how many people have? I don't know. You know how you go down the rabbit hole? I went down the rabbit hole, and just it's amazing what people do with the ashes. Actually, they say most people who get ashes wind up in the trash.
In the end, huh?
Yeah. In the end, they go from the front seat to the back seat to the trunk to somewhere in the house to a pass, and then the second pass.
Somebody knocks it over?
No, there's no. I mean, because it's still in the bag.
Oh, they literally just like I'm throwing this away.
And it just grandma just be in the can. Then you just be thinking about how many people. You gotta be careful about the air you bring around Wrigley Field, because you know people be like, I want my ashes buried at Wrigley Field.
Right.
You just think about how many times somebody at the game trying to let go of a body. Man,
I don't know anybody cremated yet.
Well, they say right now 35% of all people are cremated, and it's moving to 50. They predict it'll be by 50.
Cheaper.
It's cheaper, but where does all that stuff go? 4 pounds?
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust.
I think COVID is factoring into that too.
I agree.
Absolutely.
But thinking about all them COVID ashes, where they at? Ugh.
In the air.
Oh, and the
COVID ain't that tough, man.
Somebody
What?
eat you.
No, I mean once it's ashes, it's just ashes.
How you know? You ain't the CDC.
Ooh,
Kinda
you starting
fine.
early.
No, I'm
Ruthie.
not. But I did take biology in sophomore year.
Did you pass though?
I did pass.
I
With
watched
a what?
TLC.
And people were cheating
With
on
a
my
what?
people were cheating on my
So everybody cheated to get a D. You ever cheat on somebody and they fail?
Yeah,
You
right.
cheat on somebody, you be like, "What you got? change up your stuff and they dumber than you. All
I
right,
don't know
y'all.
why they were cheating because
We're better than
I was
this.
only like at 85. I'm like, man, you need to look at that 100 guy.
Shoot, let me stop. You know, 85 brothers be take an 85 a lot of times and be. I take this 85 and mind my business. All right, Escobar, how you feeling this morning?
I'm feeling all right.
You feeling all right? Just all right?
Yeah.
All
It's
right,
still
what is-
windy. My hair's wet. That's why.
Oh, okay. It's windy. Your hair's wet.
I was
Really?
expecting 89 degrees.
It is gonna be 89.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually.
It was 81 when I went
66.
home yesterday in my sweater. I let the window down and people were laughing at me. Like people were like in their ha 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 modes and because
It's windy.
I was hot.
Yeah.
Hot. And right now I'm telling you now I'm hot. Ruthie, are you hot?
Not at all.
Not even just, are you comfortable? You're
Yeah,
not cold.
I'm comfortable. No, I'm
You're
not
cool.
Not cold today, but I'm comfortable.
Because I am hot.
Yeah, I'm kind of hot.
Hot.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't wear sleeves.
I gotta go find my summer wardrobe so that
Look
the
in here.
moment I
It's
bring
only
it out,
one day of this.
right? And then I'm telling you, and then it'll be as soon as I put on the summer shirt, come in here with some flip flops, y'all gonna be like,
got
it's
my
cold,
flop.
it's cold. I'm gonna be like, it's cold too, cause
Your
it's-
feet gonna be done?
No, you know what, Ruthie? I don't get my feet done. Actually,
I thought you got pedicures.
only when I'm going on vacation,
Okay.
and I usually get it. I save it for the vacation.
It's wellness.
So like I don't get a pedicure before I go, so that I can get one at the spa when I go.
Oh.
Right, and then that's like the first kickoff of like, let me go have a drink, book a appointment.
My
You know what I'm
first pedicure was in Washington. I don't know what Janine and I were going to visit, but we were there. That was my first pedicure out of town.
Well, I'll tell you, when my pedicures come when Carrie is like, oh, you got to do something with them, and she'd be like, give me them feet,
Give me
She'd be,
them.
and then it'd be like that time on Martin. Right, when she did the feet and it was because I be like, I almost feel like I be in a toenail growing contest with myself to see like how long can I get my toenail, and then I know I've won when my sock cuts.
Ew.
Man, I'm very conscious
Ouch.
about my toenail.
Snagging on the sheet.
Right, well, snagging on the sheet, or the worst is like when like I accidentally, like when you scratch somebody, it's one thing, but it's another thing when you scratch them, you get skin. And you get skin, and then Carrie be like mad, like she be trying not to be mad, but she be mad to the mug.
I'm sorry.
Right? And so it'd be like, baby, you try to be like, you can't be mad at me because I got long toenails. And she be like, you could just cut them mugs.
Yeah, there is that.
Then the next thing, I be sitting on the couch, and the next thing she done snatch my foot, and I'll be like, I'm always nervous though, because until I learned that it was that little line that you can't cut, that's where the pain comes from. I used to be fearful to get mine.
And that's some real pain, too.
Ooh, yes, Lord have mercy. Them are them pains where it's like, how is this the most torturous pain that I've ever had?
Right.
And it's like a toenail.
Yeah, it's just a little thing.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We all good. Let's
How
get
you
this
doing?
soul plane up to 60,000 feet. We are up, up, up and away. It is the Maze Jackson Show. Let's fly to Japan, is it?
Cool.
$1.8 million. Did y'all see that? The Air Yeezys. Air Yeezys went to auction. The Grammy-worn Air Yeezys, $1.8 million fetched at an auction. Kanye's Air Yeezys, the very first ones by Nike.
He wore 'em during the Grammys.
I hope it's the Taylor Swift Grammys too. I hope it's the one where he was like, Beyonce should have won this. That would make him extra special. But hey man, $1.8 million. I wouldn't be surprised if Kanye bought them through another corporation for itself, because that's tremendous branding. That's tremendous. As Sonia takes off her Kanye, first of all, I told y'all the human drink magnet. When you the human drink magnet, then you also the whole
No,
human.
these are different. These are the earth tone.
How many colors you got? Let's see. 4 colors. See.
But I have white feet.
I'm
and
start-
they fit perfectly.
I think
There
I'm
is
starting
something
to
that
think.
fit perfectly, man.
I'm gonna how much do they cost a pair though?
Okay, so how
Come
was
on.
your day yesterday?
Huh? How much do they cost a pair? Because I think they're like $500 a pair.
Yowza.
$250. Okay, $250 a pair for some flip flops that look like man.
I can get like 10 pair of hush puppies for that.
I'm just gonna say, I think Sonia's in the cartel, y'all. I'm starting to believe Sonia's part of the cartel. She did like them people was quiet. Remember when we was on the show last week and everybody's like the cartels, and then all of a sudden it was like, doop, doop. Everybody was like,
shout out Kanye.
I
support mine.
No shade on Kanye, man. I ain't gonna even trip it. Cause shout out, he made Cootie and Chike. Shout out to Danny Soares too. $30 million for they documentaries. That's gonna be good stuff. Did you see Illinois loses a congressional seat? Better than most thought, though, because I think people were estimating that we were going to lose 2. But I do want to talk about the impacts of that. Also, Mayor Lori Lightfoot has kicked off her 2020 campaign. I mean, her 2023 campaign.
Right.
For election. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the Capitol. She launched the Capitol plan.
She's trying to raise money.
No.
No?
She's fixing 75 miles of roads and bridges, and she's kicking it off 2 years. I'm gonna tell you the secret. Stop! Don't tell, because we'll tell. I'm gonna tell y'all the secret of this, and then y'all gonna be like, they gonna be mad when we tell this secret. They gonna be mad when we tell the secret, because they gonna be like, I'm just telling y'all. It's like I feel like some that. No, I'll tell you later.
That's it.
You want to know about the secret about the Capitol plan? Stay tuned at 7:30. We'll tell you about it. A $60 million vaccine hesitancy program in Illinois launches. The governor cut the ribbon. So here's my thing with these.
That's a lot of money.
It's $60 million, and I got to ask who's getting it.
Well, there's the question.
Who's getting it? They said whether you go to a church, community center. I want to know who gets the $60 million to convince black people to get. It's black people and rural people. Who's getting $60 million to come convince? Who gets paid to convince black people to take the virus? I mean, to take the vaccine. $60 million. That's a lot of contracts. Or it's not. $60 million. That's just for $60 million. Let me tell you what. Somebody gonna get y'all some bubblegum lollipops, and we gonna get stuck. And ain't no black people gonna get rich. I sure hope the governor is not taking that $60 million and, hey, y'all, who are the black-owned media outlets that's gonna get that money?
That's the question.
Who is the black agency that's gonna handle that money? How does that $60 million that's going to enter the economy reach the people? Because this is gonna be to pay people to talk to y'all. I done told on somebody.
Yikes.
Let me stop. All right, I'll move on. How about the city mayor Lightfoot taking a page out of Jesse Jackson's book, launches an attack not on Chuck's gun shop but on West 4th Sports in Gary.
Yeah.
Linking over almost 1,000 shootings in Chicago, guns traced back to the location. Now, you would think that I feel like I get it, but it's stuntery because they're in Chancery Court. And let me just say, who in Indiana is going to?
Oh yeah.
Who in Indiana is going to side with Mayor Lightfoot on some gun joints?
Right.
Right. It's just not going to happen. But it sounds good, and it's a great press release when you have an outlandish murder rate with no game plan. So you sue in Chancery Court, which is we want money, not we can stop you from selling guns.
Right.
At the same time, in the Supreme Court, they are talking about is there a need for gun licensing? That'll be a good one. Because if you don't need a license to buy a gun, I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to be I think it'd be a little bit less crime. I'm going to just tell you.
The NRA will fight that tooth and nail.
No, the NRA is for it.
I can't believe it.
Why do they want anybody to have they want to be able to buy a gun whenever without a license, and you can go because they know white people ain't going to shoot each other.
It's like in Red Dawn. Do you remember when the kids see Ben Johnson, who was a big old Western actor, and they say, well, what happens? And he said, well, the first thing was they went to City Hall, they found out where all the guns were, and they went and got them. That's always been the fear of the NRA, that the government will come to your house and take your gun.
That's the point, though.
That's why they're saying they don't want a license. So now you don't know where to find it.
Oh, they said they do.
No, they're trying to throw out the license.
Oh, see, well, yeah, that makes total sense.
I know, that's why you just took 2 minutes arguing with me and my point. Thank you very much.
I don't argue with you, Maze.
Check this out.
Just go ahead.
Check this one out. Nope. I'm going to take a break, and then we're going to come back, and then I'll tell you the rest of the headlines, and we'll get into the social media question of the day. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd will be back.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days, the sandwiches of spam. Grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mama and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
The Fraternal Order of Police. It is the President, John J. Catanzara Jr.
We all saw the Anjanette Young video.
Naturally, when someone hears, I didn't do it, you got the wrong place, you just discard it. You have an obligation to make sure that the rest of the place that you're doing a search warrant on is secure.
Okay, so you used the word naturally. And when you watch that video, naturally, a natural reaction would have been to provide her with some coverage for her naked body.
Have you ever been to police?
And so
have you ever been to police?
Let me finish my question. So a natural reaction was not what we saw from those white police officers.
A natural police reaction is to secure the scene.
So a natural police reaction is different from a natural
Well, we're
human
talking
reaction.
about police. We're not talking about you going into a building. We're talking about the police going into a building.
Hence why in the beginning of the question, I related it to training. Are police officers trained to not see black people as human? And so police training would make them naturally react to see me as an animal?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer because that's just an ignorant statement to make. They went in there looking for an offender.
Who was not there.
Do you know that until you searched the whole place?
They did. They searched and she stood there naked.
And at that point...
After they had the scene secure, she still stood there naked.
Again, I already conceded the fact that they could have did a better job covering her up, but her race had nothing to do with it, and you're going to keep implying it. I'm going to keep telling you you're absolutely wrong.
Let me ask you a question. Of training? Is it a lack of proper training?
No.
Oh, my bad. I keep telling you, you got the wrong place. You got the wrong place.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. We will kill you for our woman.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Stroger, Ruthie, Mizzo for Shizzo. Plus, then I got Sonia Escobar in the building, y'all. I got a few more headlines. Did y'all see that Little Village shooting yesterday? 17-year-old boy walking with his girl, 10:15 a.m. in the morning. Booga, booga, booga. Shot. Gotta ask. So, speaking of Little Village, did y'all know that violence is up 29% in Little Village? check this out. Now overlay that with the fact that the alderman was on saying that they got $37 million. Remember that? Do y'all remember when we played that Mike
Yes.
Rodriguez and he said, "Man, we got $37 million and we're gonna get more next year." And we saw that during the mayor's press conference on the violence, we saw all of the agencies that get that money. I almost feel like more murder, more money in the Latino community. Because in the black community, it's more murder, and the black people got to go ask the Latinos for money to address it. There seems to be a plan, and then when you overlay that with the Office of New Americans, and you see that all the violence prevention money goes to Latino communities, even as the violence is exploding, and we have to go through Latinos to even be able to get the money. If you look at how much money in the city of Chicago that is dedicated to violence prevention that does not go to black people in their own neighborhoods who are actually doing the work, it starts to make everything make sense. How does their violence go up 29%, and they get $37 million and they're going to get more? What am I missing?
I think there's a correlation between an increase in crime and an increase in funding.
Really?
That's how it goes. You get more money, the more crime you get. But it's about what you do with the money.
Right.
Oops. So, okay, you coming through. So I think we need to point that out. I think you all just need to point that out, okay? That the funding, $37 million went to this community, and their violence is up by 29%. I just need for y'all to pay attention to that. Another suspect in the Jaslyn Adams shooting last night. I think Alderman Scott, who was on last night as we were having our necessary conversation, was getting updates as to what's happened. So they didn't release many details, but they did say a SWAT team had to go to 15th and Springfield to get him. Black man killed in North Carolina, shot in the back of the head. The police say they are in North Carolina preparing for a state of emergency as the body cam footage is being prepared to be released to the public. Shot in the back of the head. They said he was trying to leave. At the same time, there was also another shooting of a black. I'm confused as to the person exactly, but I saw the picture, and apparently the dude or woman, they had a dude's name. I'm gonna say that it was a transgender person, but he was on the phone with 911 calling the police. The police shot him as he was coming to them. They said, "Put down the gun, put down the gun." He was on the phone with 911 because he was in a fight with his brother. And the police officer shot him like 6 times.
That's one where the police officer had gave him a ride home.
Is it?
Earlier. Uh-huh. Yeah, it was weird, right?
I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Look, okay. So last night we had a really good conversation. Part of that conversation included 2 brothers who are actually on the streets, actually patrolling black neighborhoods with their groups. New Era Chicago, and Watch Guard. And I want to talk about that whole concept. Like, who do we call? If you call 911 and you're on the phone with the police and you still get killed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't. We were talking about this yesterday. Like, how many times do you just eat it? Do you just be like, you know what? This is pissing me off, but I'm not gonna call the police. And how does that get handled in our community, right? And I want to talk about it because, man, it was a really interesting conversation yesterday, particularly the conversations that happened off air. But Ready Rock likes to call it breaking branches, pruning the tree. It's interesting, the whole concept of how community policing on another level. And what do we call it? Because I don't want to call it. I think if we recognize that the root of policing the challenge I got in all of this stuff is everything that we talk about is based in what we know. So when you say policing, even, it's like your concept is, and how do you get out of that concept? I don't want to use the word construct, but how do you get out of that concept and start to rethink how do we even interact with each other as it relates to, I was saying, like, the Italian people that I know be like, man, when we knew somebody was selling heroin in the neighborhood, something happened to their house and they just stopped. We told them don't do it. They didn't do it. Something happened. There was no big news story. There was no big, it was just, it stopped. I want to talk about that a little bit later. But also, finally, did you see the California recall? There was enough signatures. They have mobilized a recall for Gavin Newsom, the one-time superstar, potential presidential candidate in the future. He was the mayor of San Francisco, wasn't it? San Francisco? Yeah,
I think that's right.
And he was him and Kamala went to the fires and she had on a Timbs, and they did the whole, yeah. He is subject to a recall in California. You think if we could recall a governor, what do you think? Do you think you get the signatures to recall JB?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if
you
you got enough money to work it.
Yeah, people pay, right? You could buy up enough signatures.
It'd be interesting to see. All right, y'all. It's the Mace Jackson Show. It's time, Sonia. Let's get that. Find that big voice for me.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
The other day I went out to Tory Barrett's new place called The Park. 55th right off the Dan Ryan, and it is a new black-owned establishment, restaurant, bar. And after we left, we were looking for a place to eat. They had hors d'oeuvres, so they had heavy hors d'oeuvres. But when you leave the heavy hors d'oeuvres and good tequila, you be like, I think I'm going to need something to eat. And I was driving around the city and I was thinking, like, where can we go? And as I started to think about it, I thought about restaurants and places that I might like that may not still be in existence.
Right.
Then I thought about the people who own such establishments. Like I was thinking about Harry's Gulf Shrimp, right? And Mr. Harry died. And I was thinking, will that come back? And that, if you know Harry's Gulf Shrimp, there's like, you ever had Harry's Gulf Shrimp?
Mm-hmm.
What you know about Harry's Gulf Shrimp? Ruthie, you from Kankakee? You like?
It's like
It's like people like
I had to try it because I had the other one, Lawrence's. So they was like, you got to try the other one.
Oh, Lawrence's is whack now.
So then I tried that one.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I'm not a Lawrence fan.
Oh,
the Lawrence's is like breaded.
This batter is much different.
Yeah, he was more New Orleans style. Harry's was like, Todd, you probably would have liked that. But anyway, I was thinking about the unintended consequences of COVID and what impacts it will have on the black community. So I started thinking about things that wouldn't come back, establishments that wouldn't come back, people that wouldn't come back. And then I thought about Rahm and his whole concept of never let a good crisis go to waste. And then I thought about how could the city, state use COVID to eliminate its headaches. Now let me give you an example of the city using crisis to eliminate its headache. Do you remember the clique that eventually became E2 that held the tragedy in which 23 people died? I I had a good friend that owned that establishment. And owned it when it happened. As a matter of fact, I was supposed to be there that night because my best friend Vince Bass was the marketing director. And I remember all of the trouble and all of the battles that the city had with E2. But the fact of the matter was Calvin had the license, and it was like they tried every legal maneuver, but it was like he had the papers. It was like, like when we hear about black people that own something, and then the government, like those people in California, and the government say, "Oh, we need to put a park here."
Mm-hmm.
And they was like, "Nah, dog, you can't. You can put a park, but I got my paper." And they couldn't seem to ever get the paper. And they would send city inspectors, and they would do all type of stuff, but they couldn't get this land. And it was at the time when, and you got to think about this, is the Defenders across the street, and now there is a plan for the South Loop. But they can't have this 5 o'clock a.m., this establishment where all the black people are congregating from all around the world, every celebrity. It is the centerpiece of nightlife, whether you love. It became a place where everybody black came. And that corner, then essentially it was the place where everybody from rappers to ballers to pimps to gang members to everybody, that was the space. And Calvin had a vision, and he saw and he knew that the area was going to change. So he moved from a nightclub to E2 Epitome, which was that combo restaurant dinner theater that he was trying to make happen, trying to take advantage of what he knew was coming. When the tragedy happened in E2, it was all kicked off by somebody letting off some pepper spray, and it created a panic that culminated with people trying to rush out of a stairwell, and people got crushed trying to run down this crazy flight of steps. That was a badass flight of steps. I ain't gonna even lie. But I remember watching it on TV and watching as the police actually guarded the door staying closed. Instead of opening the door and letting all of the people fall out, they kept them locked in. And so as people were rushing to get in, the people at the bottom of the steps couldn't get out, and it became a mass of human crushing, of which 23 people died. Now,
stampede.
Yes. And it's a stampede where the people fall at the bottom and people just keep on falling on top of them. And if you at the bottom, you just trying to get out. But I can't even imagine being at the bottom of that. But that's not my point. My point was, throughout the time that they were trying to get it, we would always say, Calvin would always be like, man, they trying to get this because this is going to be the heart of what they're doing, right? And he would be like, all down there as they got plans. And it's like when we didn't really know about the plan commission, we didn't know about the fact that the city's plan for 30 years was already mapped out.
Right.
And they used that tragedy as the way to clear out the rest of the South Loop, right? Because that place drew everybody from the Ickies. It drew everybody from the low end. It was kind of the linchpin of everything in that area. And then you think about the Cotton Club was on that block, and there was just I can't think of all the other clubs that were on that block. And now you drive down that block, and you see E2 has remained empty, but they've plugged in, they've built apartment buildings. They're now even built a burlesque theater on the block. And I was thinking about that in relation to COVID when I saw the story that the chosen few wasn't going to come back this year. Now, I know y'all don't want to hear me when I say that, and we all say, oh, it'll always be here. But in the midst of this COVID, this is the second year that the chosen few has not been there. And you're now comfortable with it not being there. Remember when we were talking about it a few years ago and they started building the Chicago House Music Festival downtown? And
Right.
everybody was like, oh, no, they'll figure it out. Well, why do I need to figure it out? Because now I can move you. I can leverage the combination of construction, COVID, and by the time it comes back, it's 5 years out, and you don't even remember it because they went virtual, and now it's a downtown house music festival.
And it was free.
Yep. Well, they changed that, though.
Yeah, they changed.
Oh, no, they changed that. They changed that because the city stopped, because Ron was like, we're not giving you the city services no more. When it was Mayor Daley and Alderman Hairston, they gave it free because they understood. Basically, they knew they was doing everything.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the downtown one was free.
Oh, the downtown one is free, and black folks ain't gonna say we not going to the one downtown because that's a dress up day to go. They went to both, but by going to both, you proved that the one downtown was a viable alternative.
Right.
Now you don't have both options, but now it's on downtown. And I just thought about how will they use this COVID to change Black Chicago. Think about when you count all of the people that died during COVID, all of the businesses that shut down during COVID, and where it was happening, and where the resources were deployed. So even when they told you they were talking about the racial equity rapid response team, and the mayor said, but it really kicked off, our numbers changed when we started expanding to the Latinos. So even as we're talking South and West Side in word, we're still not deploying the resources there, thus creating a open. How many people gonna get evicted when the time come back?
A lot.
How many black people and where do you think they will enforce the evictions the most? In the prime real estate. I told people that the South Side is going to start 5 to 10 blocks south of the Obama Center. So you look at what's happening now. If you take the death that came with COVID, the removal of housing, the return, and you look at everything from 22nd in Michigan to Hyde Park. You look at Hyde Park. I drove through there last night. It looked like it's turning into Wicker Park. You laughing? They got all the whites to the rest. Bud Long chicken? Like, think about the fact that they have a Bud Long, a white fried chicken spot, prime real estate in Hyde Park.
I mean, who can afford them rents?
University of Chicago.
Exactly.
So I ask you, Black Chicago, what will we lose from COVID? And I guess I would ask y'all, am I making any sense here? Ruthie, Todd, Ruthie?
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. There's a lot of things that will not return. Even the movie theater closed on 87th, and I was like, what? Even though they say it may come back.
They still got delivering food.
No, really?
It's kind of weird, right?
It is.
What you mean they still delivering food?
So, it's like a thing where, like, I'm not trying to compare it to a gas station, but it's like a thing going around where restaurants, you know how, like, some of the gas station and corner stores have restaurants in them?
Uh-huh.
So now if you look on some of the food delivery apps, you'll notice, like, all of these random restaurants, and you like, this ain't in my hood. Like, what is this? Only come to find out this is the restaurant that's in the local corner store that now offers delivery. And so it's a lot of places like that. So y'all be leery of some of these restaurants if you ain't never heard of them.
Man, be real, because that's and you know that if there's anybody that is going to take advantage of our demise, it's the people who own the gas stations. Now, I'm gonna tell you,
I actually noticed that maybe last week, Ruthie.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
it really should be like a
my
disclaimer.
whole thing changed, my whole app.
Exactly.
It's like all
You
these.
this ain't in my neighborhood. What is this?
I was wondering, when do we get a Red Lobster? Have you seen that too? Like, where now, right up the street. Check this, Ruth. Like,
What?
Red Lobster?
No, so what you talking about?
So check this out. Literally right down the street where Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish is.
Mm-hmm.
I went to go Sam Silk's Chicken and Fish thinking I was gonna walk into a restaurant. It's a giant super kitchen. and everybody got a little restaurant in there, and they got the recipes, and then you come into the hallway and you put your number in, and it says, "Oh, you order Red Lobster. Go push this number," and then it's a big window, like this window, just like that, and somebody hands you a Red Lobster bag, or they hand you Sam Silk bag, or whatever, and it's all the Uber people and all the it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And in the meantime, we're being moved out. Like, I feel like when people really finally come outside, because you've been living through your app and your phone, and you look around and you be like, what happened to,
Right.
Wait, what happened to? And so I'm asking you, Black Chicago, are we even paying attention? Because think about this. When that moratorium, and I'm going to tell you to pay attention because they're talking about it in the newspapers now, about landlords finally having the opportunity to evict.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, you know, we tend to, I know I'm a good one with this. When we don't have money, we shut down or we figure out the ways. But there are going to be people in the marketplace now who want to buy Chicago, who recognize the vision. And so these landlords are going to start saying, and Southside, you're in the prime space. If you're anywhere between 22nd and the Obama Center, if they can move you, you moving.
Right.
If they can move you, you are moving. And that goes east side too. Because you think about like all over in the Jackson Park Highlands and all of that stuff. You think between Jeffrey and Stony? Oh, no, you got to go. They can't be having y'all acting up around the presidential library. What will Black Chicago lose from this pandemic? I would look. Do y'all remember on the Avengers when everybody disappeared?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see a kind of like a physical map like that of how many, when you lay the death that occurred in this state out, I'd like to see, and then you did an overlay of where the resources were deployed, right? I'd love to see what that map looks like because I think you'd be able to see the plan. If you combine death, then eviction, then you really could reshape this city coming out of this pandemic. This is the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
The Chicago Legal Network is the collaboration of attorneys that concentrate in many areas of the law most needed in Chicago neighborhoods. The CLN lawyers focus on personal injury, criminal defense, and other issues. The CLN lawyers all average over 20 years of legal experience and are dedicated to helping the Chicago community. The Chicago Legal Network is committed to developing Black lawyers through mentorship and co-representation. So if you were injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or injured on the job, or you need assistance with criminal defense, including driving violations and DUI, check out ChicagoLegalNetwork.com for more information or call 773-912-3545. 773-912-3545.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
Our Attorney General Kwame Raoul.
I have reached out to the Hospital Association and the Med Society to talk about how proactively we can talk about implicit bias in healthcare and begin to address the situation system-wide, because I've also simultaneously directed my civil rights team to begin to look at that and look at ways that it may have manifested itself. We've done so historically with regards to the nursing home industry, where you've had some nursing home owners that staff disparately. So if they're in a Black community, they won't have much staff as they will in a white community. We've taken that on from a civil rights standpoint, and we're prepared to take on other instances of implicit bias in healthcare.
Utilizing your office to investigate civil rights and healthcare as a civil rights issue. That's actually pretty powerful, and it demonstrates how we have to be working in coordinated efforts with our elected officials in places and positions of power.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what?
No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, or when they're older, and you're like, oh, now this is your step brother, step sister. Like, nah, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. It ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
WIIFTVPN.
Wasted on you. From the beginning, you see my world spinning, just a tasting guide. Wasted on you. Vision was blurry, the mood got me working, and my feelings got loose. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're saying, then you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget. Don't know why I'm waiting. Don't entertain it if it ain't right. But let's just say you feel the same. I wouldn't hesitate. Wasted on you. Hours and hours trying to figure out what power makes me feel like I do. Wasted on you. I keep on fighting, but the more I try to hide it, more that you can see through. Let's just forget I was just playing. Can we move on and have a good night? Let's just forget unless you're saying that you might think about it's time to time. Let's just forget. Don't know where I'm waiting. Don't entertain it if it ain't right. Let's just say you feel the same. I wouldn't hesitate. Wasted on you. Wasted on you.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's In It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
What's in it for the black people? Cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze, it's Sonia, and Ruthie, and Todd. Explaining how we all come from God. Giving us tools to beat the odds. If we're united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect your oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger. Ruthie Mo. Look at Ruthie with the. You doing the fashion. You checking it.
Oh, no, I have to adjust them. Somebody got a big head, whoever be wearing these.
Somebody got a big. You know what? Yesterday sitting in that chair was Mr. Eric Mobley. Eric Mobley, Ruthie Moore says your head is big. No, in case you all missed it, we had a great conversation last night. Mr. Eric Mobley, New Era Chicago, 24th Ward Alderman Michael Scott, our very own Toussaint Werner, as well as Marquin McDonald, moderated by me. Necessary Conversations is what I'm going to call it. Necessary Conversations, Monday at 7. I'm not sure if it's going to be Mondays at 7, but we're going to have another Necessary Conversation this Thursday at 7 p.m. Maze Jackson, Bomani Obedelli, Mark Carter, Tyrone Muhammad, as well as LaVon Stone. Y'all know we got this big May Day march. Asking everybody to join us. Next Monday, 60 East Van Buren. We're going to start at CHA, and we're going to head over to City Hall. There's an Office of New Americans. No shade to the Office of New Americans, but if you could do it for them, then all we saying is we want the same. There's a lot of different organizations. It's a lot of issues. I know that there is maybe with that combination of people, and let me just be clear, it's more than just us. I think it's important for y'all to understand that, and I don't think that no one's trying to claim leadership at this point. I think what this was is a demonstration of collaboration. A demonstration of collaboration that we can work together. So if you are part of working together, no big eyes, no little U's, please join us Monday. Monday. Now, yesterday I think I don't say I got upset. I'm going to say I was, I be sensitive about my stuff. So yesterday when Gino called, I was a little like, what you mean? I think that this is the first step in just developing trust. And as we develop trust, I think there will be regular convening and then really a way of working together. Ruthie, you what you say? I love how you put it when you said it. It's like we can whatchamajig'em fly to neutralize whatchamajig'ems. Come on. How I go, the threats, we be like, threats. Man, I'll put you in, I'll keep, I be telling threats like, I keep full-size industrial garbage bags in the trunk of my car for people just like you. But what you say we organized for, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. To neutralize? Come on, don't be doing the tie, Ruthie.
No, I don't remember.
We organized for neutralize threats. Come on now, get it together. We could call out, we mobilize ourselves to neutralize external threats.
That's it. No, that's really
you supposed to say it, not me.
Some come together. Black people come together.
This is what happens when you turn to a celebrity. Then you be like,
black people. I can't imagine somebody always wanting me to say the same thing. It would drive me crazy.
Ruthie, but you got a tagline. You got a fan club. They gon' look when you get. Let me tell you what you hope for in your life. You hope for the one hit that no matter what happens, you can perform that hit for $50,000 a show, so you never be broke. So anyway, we are looking to look. Thank you, Beulah. We are unifying to neutralize external threats. See, people around here be taking notes, and then you want to be the professor and be like, I got something different today.
Yeah, right.
You can't do that, professor. Then there's no reason for the white guys to have all of those tests saved up for all of those years. Have you ever been to like a white fraternity house? Do you know that they literally say after every test, give us all your stuff?
Oh, yeah.
And they collect and they got test files. They be like, oh, you got who? Here you go. It's like they're not smarter than us. They just cheat well. Dang it. Anyway, so that conversation happens on Thursday. So y'all can believe it and see it and believe it. But then we really are asking you to mobilize your community group. I need the men of Phi Beta Sigma to represent. Bros, I'm going to need y'all to represent. I think with alphas, we'll make sure y'all be safe. we will protect y'all.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thanks.
Okay, Todd, it's
yeah.
okay. You know, I get you. I'll make sure you straight.
No, thank you.
Ruthie, you got to get the DSTs, the double O triple O's.
The DSTs.
Yeah, you got to get the double O triple O's. I know y'all be having rules about what y'all could do. Y'all be like,
y'all got rules. Everybody got rules.
Yeah, but you know when it's Black Power stuff, one of our brothers was Black Panther, right? Founded the Black Panthers, Huey P. So you know we got to go back to our. We be having to go back. See, we was busy fighting the paper bag test back in the day because we wouldn't have. Let me stop. Don't give y'all. Yeah,
Yeah, it's because y'all went international with all the Africans.
Hold on. There's international chapters everywhere, but we went and got kings. Let's be clear. Kwame Nkrumah, don't play.
Africans. That really changed the trajectory of y'all fraternity.
No, it didn't.
Yes, it did.
No, it did.
Y'all got a lot of Africans.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
Y'all got a lot of Africans.
Yeah.
It goes Sigma then Alphas in terms of Africans.
I'm gonna let this conversation.
Bro, y'all want to talk about that? Okay,
get out.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there.
No,
ain't nothing wrong with a little international brotherhood. But I'm just saying.
I'm just telling you, it's all right. It's all right. Talk about we supposed to be talking about Todd anyway. Anyway, this is the Mace Jackson Show. Let's get back to what we were talking about. Did you all see that the census report came out and it says that Illinois, like some significant other blue states, including New York and California, are losing representation in Congress. While places like Texas and Florida are growing. I gotta ask you a couple things. Well, first of all, what does it mean that we're going to lose a congressional seat, and who does that mean a loss for? I would assume that doesn't change Democratic power because they could just offer up a Republican seat. But I also gotta ask a question about who's leaving Illinois and why? Who is leaving Illinois and why? And going to places like Texas and Florida and Colorado to think about. Florida and Colorado, Florida and Texas, and it ain't weed because Florida and Texas are not legal states. So I gotta ask y'all. It seemed like for me, when I look at black prosperity, it does not seem to be in the places where there are Democratic strongholds. When I look at black prosperity in a place like Chicago, in a place like New York, what we would assume LA, but we've been we have been exterminated from LA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to say, like, we're less than 10% of the population there now. Yeah. Like, we done got ran out of Compton even. Right? And then when I go to places like Texas, when you go to places like Florida, when you go to places and black folks going down south in places that would seem to be more oppressive for us, there seems to be more prosperity. I'm gonna say that anecdotally, not statistically, but in a city like Chicago where we exist and we have a 24% unemployment rate, I gotta ask, what's wrong with black people in blue states? Why are we not taking advantage of all of the liberal ideas and policies and programs that we brag about as we talk about being in a deep blue state? I would think that the mecca of black businesses would reside in places like Chicago. In places like New York City, where if you take out rap and if you take out the entertainment industry, where do black people, what space do they occupy in New York? If you take black people out of entertainment, what space do they occupy in California? Talk to me.
I would suggest that actually black people probably do, as numbers go, pretty well here and in New York. But it's two sides to the coin. So there's a lot of people who do well, whatever your definition of well is. You got a house and, you got all those basic need things. You can take a vacation, that kind of stuff. I think there's a whole bunch of people who do very well in those northern cities. But on the other side of the coin, there's a whole bunch of people who aren't doing well. So in the South, which is kind of like new territory in a way, there are people who see the ability to go there and join the new industries that are popping up. They're not new anymore, but in the last 50 years, they've really, got things going in Houston and what's the Florida? I don't know what the heck goes on
Houston,
in Florida.
Atlanta, I would say outside of Miami. I would have to look, but they also saying black folks are moving to places like North Carolina. There is a somewhat southern migration. You talk about Savannah, outside of Savannah. First of all, where are we going? Where are we leaving? And is that, if it's Texas and Florida, is it black people leaving or is it white people leaving?
I'd also suggest that there are a number of black people who want to retire in the South.
Yeah, I'm hearing black folks talking about Arizona now. Like regularly. Like, I'm retiring to Arizona. But why do they want to retire to those places that we here consider segregated maybe? Or at least less racially sensitive? I don't know. Ruthie?
Of the young black professionals that I know that have moved to those areas, when they do talk about the racism, to me, they speak of it as if the white people stay where they at and the black people stay where they at. Like, that's kind of how I've interpreted.
I've heard the same thing, but we do the same thing, but it seems like there's prosperity. The young professionals that you talk about seem to be connected with some level of success.
Not necessarily. It's the cost of living.
Okay. The cost of living.
Mm-hmm. And the majority of them are also married, so it's a dual income.
Okay. I gotta ask, with this population loss, first of all, whose district is gonna leave? Let me ask you, are there any Republicans in the northern area? Or do you take out?
Yeah, north of Winnetka, right?
Who?
Isn't there somebody up there?
That's not Raja Krishnamurthy.
Oh, right. He is up there.
Right. So I think all of it comes from, so we're going to lose a congressional seat. At one point, there was a thought that there was going to be a loss of 2 congressional seats, and they were suggesting that those losses would come from either losing Danny Davis's seat or losing Bobby Rush's seat. But I can't see that at all. There's 3 protected black congressional districts.
I don't see how that's going to, I don't see how Danny Davis's district is going to stay. I haven't seen the numbers yet, but just walking around, it's like his whole area is really changed.
So the question then is, so they're going to have to reapportion, and this is all done in Springfield, right? So they're going to have to redraw the maps. I think they take out.
Yeah, but from the past, the speaker, now we got a new speaker, but the speaker would take whatever map the congressman gave him.
Got it. So I would expect that that'll probably be the same thing, right? But even as they draw that map, where do we fit in that? Because I do think that one of those districts, like that Danny Davis district, could easily be drawn to turn into a white district. Yeah. I think Danny Davis could defend it, but I'm not sure anybody coming behind him could.
Right.
And so what are we doing to prepare that next person for that space? I wonder who is doing the drawing. Like literally, do they have a cartographer? You think?
They print money, yes.
Okay. You laughing, but there was a time when I was asking down people in Springfield if they had hired a cartographer, and they hadn't. And so I'm just curious to know if we lose Danny Davis, if do we have someone that could walk the line between both? I'm just telling you. I mean, I think I don't think that we as Illinoisans could imagine a time without Danny Davis or Bobby Rush. And I think that time is rapidly approaching. With a combination of remap and age. And I gotta ask, do we leave this to the congressman? Do we leave our future to, you know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like there needs to be a conversation. Cause do you get what I'm saying? Like, Danny Davis and Bobby Rush, remember how there used to be a time when people be like, man, y'all should step down and pass it on, and they'd be like, beat me.
Right.
You gotta beat me. And ain't nobody can beat you. Recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
But are they going to be in the strongest position to fight for our future in Congress and our representation? Like, if you presided over the largest mass exodus of black people from your district, right? Like, do we give you the final say for our next 10 years that you might not be fulfilling? Like, I guess my thing would be like, if I got two of the most senior congressmen, I would be thinking that one of them districts is going to be a black mecca somewhere. Right? Like, somewhere in there, you're going to be able to point to the thriving black communities.
Just based on the longevity of service.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, there's got to be I feel like there's got to be somewhere in each one of those congressional districts that you can point to that black people could be like, I am so proud that we got this. Because we got federally funded, and in 20 years, you got X, Y, Z. Now, how do we deal with that going forward, though? Because I guess you got to assess, how have we done congressionally? Todd, how would you say we've done congressionally during this time? Like, and how do you judge that? Is it by the number of national projects, the amount of funding that has come to your district? I feel like I'm a little lower. How do you do that? How do you measure the congressional? Like, I got the whole speeches and but how do we measure their congressional effectiveness?
I would suggest that is how much funding you can get out of the government and to put into your district. That's what I would do. That would be my top thing.
And if you were black, how would you assess that? How much of the same thing, but that went to black projects?
Oh yeah, that went into the black areas, that were targeted to stimulate, growth and activity in the African American neighborhoods.
Have we ever seen this before? Like, give me an example of a congressman that has done something like that. I would think Rostenkowski.
Oh, well, Rostenkowski was good for
everything.
Yeah, he was just good for the state because he was just so powerful, and his position was such that he could bring money from all places because everybody had to go through him. So, when you got that kind of power, people want to talk to you.
So my question now is, who is our power broker in Washington, D.C.?
I think we have a void, to be honest with you. It's not that I don't think that the congressmen don't work hard, but I don't think they are able to open some doors that we find that their white counterparts have been able to open. I don't blame them for that. I think it's as Ruthie's grandmother says.
They gonna crack?
Right.
I guess my question then becomes, how do we change that? I mean, like, are we who?
Well, you got to remember, when you go, I learned this when I was at the county. The people who do things they ask the same people over and over about people who pop up in politics, which is basically they ask white people about everybody.
I don't get it.
So let's say you win a race in a congressional. Let's say Bobby Rush retires and somebody wins.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to ask the white guys, and when they get to Washington, the Washington bigwigs are going to ask the white guys about the new guy. So there is a power structure where there's a committee that decides where you go. So, like when Mike Quigley went, there's a committee, and he was suggested by people all around that he go to, I think he's on intelligence.
But that's my point. Right? So he goes to intelligence where now he has a lot of stroke in a lot of other places.
Right.
That makes him, when he makes asks, people want to help him.
Right.
When you go to social services, you're asking for help. You're not putting yourself in a position to help people. You're asking for help.
I would call it very old world. I mean, when you knew you couldn't get anything out of white people, you knew you could get social services. Now we're in a different space, you know.
But no, we're not.
But we are in a different space, but our congressmen aren't.
Good one, Todd.
But that's, you know, Ruthie's grandmother. You got to get past. How do you get over that hurdle where the guy, you know, Jan Schakowsky can tell the group, well, he's not that smart. We're going to put him on, you know, dog catcher committee. You know,
but then the challenge becomes that Jan Schakowsky then comes to the black community after minimizing our people and get it treated like the king's hero.
Oh, yeah.
Because they go see the progressives because the progressives think the same way, though. Right? The progressives think of the same way.
Her. She is the progressive.
But the black progressives.
But she's also like number 5, I want to say, in the hierarchy of the House.
So until so when does she have to do right by black people in that hierarchy? Right? Like, so if we know that in this state, that the juice in our state is Jan Schakowsky, then when do we say to Jan Schakowsky, who's your black number 2? Who is your person that we know, like, in your space that you are pushing forward? Because, again...
That was Ja?
Ja.
Wasn't that the young man's name? What? He used to work for her, and he was pushed into some spot. He was going to run for lieutenant governor or something. I can't remember what his thing was. But she had a guy, but he left the state. You know, that's my thing with the liberals. I hate this, is that they don't want to have anything to do with us homegrown Southsiders and Westsiders.
All right. No, they always go find somebody else. Again, you think about the black people that have had the opportunity to climb in the state in JB's cabinet and Rhymes' cabinet. Ain't none of them from here. No, I don't think you can put your finger on a successful from Chicago black politician statewide or national. Like, you can't. Like, you think about, how many chief of staffs came from Chicago? Now, I'm not talking about the district office chief of staff. I'm talking about the chief of staff in Washington, D.C.
Well, as we well know, like in the Senate, there's only been like one in the last 100 years or something. And that person was, I think he might have been a Republican.
And again, so when you think about that, what has been the benefit? How have we benefited from congressional representation? I'm not shading them. I'm saying, I always think about like the white guys, when you're talking to them, they always in on some policy that affects like some sort of infrastructure, some bridge project, something that's going to, like, they want to be on the Great Lakes Task Force today. And you be like, who wants to be on the damn Great Lakes Task Force? What do you mean there's going to be a $50 billion budget to, right? Like, again, I think like, do our congressmen put our people in those places and say, okay, for the national task force, here's, again, we got XYZ people. Who have we seen take the rocket ship ride out of Chicago from here that has been connected to something black that propels you? I would tell you that the only way you propel up out this bad boy, if you're black and in Chicago to go to, is either you got to be connected to Elsie or you got to be connected to some white guy who sponsors you, who says this is a good black dude. There's nobody black in Chicago that can launch you. Like you think about, I would say Richard Boykin, but Richard Boykin also had a lot of stick. He knew how to work that chief of staff space.
Yeah.
That wasn't, you made me. That was, if you put me in the pipeline, right? If you make me the chief of staff for 5 years, you can let me go because I could be the king of the world after that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't ever put anybody there, if everybody is always at the district office, if all your best talent, then nobody ever breaks into the Washington cycle where they like, yo, it's $50 billion they about to chop up. Let's get a piece of that for Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even in the no meetings. And again, I remember when we were when they were passing out the spots, and I'm not tripping on the congressman. I'm saying we've got to elevate our game to access we love the "we shall overcome" story. We got to get past overcoming and get to going. Like that thing Ruthie said about the white folks gonna be I feel like some days we still trying to have this white people let us in fight instead of, look, yo, you the congressman. You the head. We got to make our own. Just like them brothers were saying, we got to do our own security and we got to protect our own communities. We got to make no white people are coming to help us become millionaires. So we got to create our own paths. Our elected officials have to see, look, this whole system has been built around excluding us. So when the white boy tells you why you can't do this, it's not because it's something wrong with it. It is because they want to continue to exclude you.
Right.
And they use their relationship with you to persuade you with all of that. What you say, Ruthie, call it the mumbo, the political, the legalese, when they try to take all of the words and make it sound all good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's reform. It's connected to all of these, the legalese that she be talking about, that they try to bury stuff and people be like, I ain't trying to hear that no more. Mm-hmm. You can say, bust your contract, bust all the stuff you saying. We doing it because you telling me I can't do it, but the white boys can. And black folks will be the ones to convince you that the black folks will convince you that you can't do the same thing white boys are doing, as they vote for the white boys to do it.
It's the relationships and the trust. And I think that's what we got to build up. Because those white boys, they working together. So it's like they feel okay about signing that bill to make they homeboy rich, because they know they gonna benefit off that some type of way.
Right. They know they got a donor. They know they got a vacation home. They know that they don't got to worry about nothing.
But we don't have those same trusting relationships.
That, and you combine that with the fact that they have convinced us to demonize anybody black in the pursuit of the same thing that white folks got. And I don't mean it from the standpoint of the white supremacy model and we're chasing it. But if in this space we have the ability to create opportunities, we have been convinced that we can't create our own opportunities. We have to piggyback off of what the white boys say. I think when you look at cannabis, it's just that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when you go to the federal level, I don't know, even when you think about somebody being the head of energy, like on the energy committee or subcommittee or something like that. How does that make somebody from Illinois rich? Like, I don't want to hear about anything national from my congressman. I want to know, how is it applicable here? And what's so crazy to me is when the white boys come back and be like, oh yeah, I just got through talking to y'all guy. And he's with me. You be like, wait, what? I guess we got to start taking accounting of, like, what have you done for us? And that's not us waiting on the government. That's us telling the black people that we've put to be our spooks that sat beside the door, that your job is to not just sit beside the door, but to start bringing stuff back. I think we get so caught up in the emotional, I don't even gonna do it. But we get caught up in the call and response, right? We get caught up in the flowery words, and they start I don't need my politician to take me to church.
Amazing Grace?
I don't need no amens. I don't need no, yeah. No, I don't need that. What I need I don't need my congressman and my preacher to be saved. I need my congressman to be running me that money. Here's what we did out the projects. You ain't got this. You want an amen from me? You want a call and response from me? Read the list of all the appropriations that came to Chicago. Read that. You ain't got to have, if you did it, you ain't got to have no amen, because we going to be hollering. But what we get instead is twisted up in this whole, we shall overcome, but we can't overcome without the cash you got. When's the last time we've seen somebody go down the list congressionally and say, here's the appropriations that came to Illinois, and here's the appropriations that came to your neighborhood? And I'm going to tell you that it happens. Up north, it happens. They be like, oh yeah, we got you this, and this. Why you wonder why we got people who you ain't never heard of on Great Lakes Task Force and all types of things, because they know billions of dollars are going to be coming through that.
Oh, yeah.
And they want votes on it. And they want their people in the pipeline so that when it's time to say who's going to run that project, oh, you've been on the committee, you've already been in the national mix. So we can pluck you up and say, hey, you go. They're going to look for somebody to run that program. Who is putting our people in play? Who picks Ruthie up and says, that is a smart young woman, she needs to be doing policy at the congressional level, so that she can be writing national policy that impacts black folks?
Right.
They see us as passer-outers, preachers, outreach people. When they need to find the policy, and they go call Nancy. Instead of calling your Chicago State. And saying, who are our governmental specialty policy people that are on staff that we sent to the Kennedy School of Government, and they done all the stuff, and so you can confidently put them in the room, and now they could be at the intelligence briefing. She got to do that. She got to find a white person to put on. She can't go to, if you black and you want to be in the intelligence community, where you go? You better go to University of Chicago. Because it ain't nobody that's going to say, I could put you in the CIA. Just ask you. Because, the challenge is going to be that you know how you do a party and you be like, dang, I should have asked. Well, when one of them seats goes to somebody that don't look like you and you live out west, and they be like, oh no, we got 50, we built up Oak Park, we built Burt Ridge, you're like, dang, we never got that. Because I bet you if it's a white person, ain't no social services nowhere on their list. It's the Mace Jackson Show. When we come back, I'm through rambling. We're going to talk about this Chicago Capitol plan, which, Todd, I'm going to tell the secret. Can we tell them a secret when we come back about this Capitol campaign? Oh, it's not a campaign. Oh, see, there I go, sleeking. Look, we're going to talk about it all when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard.
What are y'all takes on blended families?
Meaning white people? Or what?
No, she mean like you got kids, this person got kids, y'all get together and bring the whole family together. I don't know. I have zero experience with it. I imagine it could be challenging. Especially, I think the older the children are, I think the more challenging it could be. I think if it's little children or something, you can kind of explain it to them, and they may like grow up together and kind of in that same space where this is mom, this is dad type thing. But if you talk about older kids where they literally have a mom or dad, another person like that has been in their lives, when they're older, and you're like, oh no, this is your stepbrother, stepsister. Like, nah, we like 17. Like, I'll bone her.
And if this family don't work, you can just give me to the game anyway. It ain't gonna matter. No woman will ever be important. I'm not being an ass. I'm serious. In my mind, the value of that kind of a commitment is family. I got that already. So now we just chilling. So you ain't gonna really know my children.
What's up, good people? You're listening to I Said What I Said with Toussaint Warner and Herb Howard live on What's In It for the Black People Media, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.
If I tell them to blow, I keep that metal close. That's how we ride in Chicago.
Alderman Lopez, welcome back to the Mace Jackson Show. The mayor has a very peculiar way she's dealing with this, and I'm trying to understand why does it seem like we're handling this with kid gloves.
The reason that she's not going after the root cause, which is gangs, the reason she's not calling out the silent enablers, as I tweeted out the other day, is because those are many of the same people that she relied on to get elected. I'm talking about the not-for-profits, those that reach out for grants and try to be the intermediaries in a community to try and bridge some of these anti-violence groups, things of that nature. These organizations that say they're trying to build bridges oftentimes are the ones that are enabling the gang lifestyle and allowing it to go unchecked and not holding accountable the individuals causing the violence in the neighborhoods. Those same partners, which she funds, which she relies on, were unceremoniously all pimping themselves out at press conference. Ooh. Saying nobody said a word about gangs, but what they did say is that we need more money for the programs that we offer to help stop the violence. And clearly for more money to go to organizations that are working against the residents of the city of Chicago.
Alderman, how did y'all approve $37 million to go to one ward for violence prevention? $37 million? I don't think there's been a $37 million investment in anything black.
When these amendments to the budget and when these programs come before us, and I've asked the last time that these were proposed by the administration, what metrics are we using to ensure that everyone with their hand out was not still enabling gangbangers in the middle of the night? And oftentimes have intervened on behalf of gangbangers, particularly in the Latino community. When you see in other communities, like the black community, when you start doling out contracts to, say, Metropolitan Family Services, and now they're responsible for doling out to organizations to come into neighborhoods like, for example, West Englewood, contract out to organizations that have no connection to a community, build no bridges to a neighborhood, but get $300,000 to stop violence.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
Sissy's Taco Bar Pop-Up is back with more hours and more days. Check them out at their new pop-up location at the Woodlawn, located 1200 East 79th Street. Sissy's Taco Bar offers authentic street tacos infused with international soul. Now every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at the Woodlawn from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. New vegan tacos have been added to the menu too. Visit sissytacobar.com for more info.
Song. Amazing, yeah. Front in the back looking crazy. I know that you're thinking what I'm thinking. How you look this good, baby. All to myself, I'm selfish. Round you, Girl, you so fine, I would pay it. Killing them selfies, she's slaying. All in my head, it keep playing. Yeah, keeping this real, no faking. She wants something solid. If I'm being honest, girl, I think we got it. Oh, wondering how did you get here? Taking me for a ride. You came in so unexpected. You make me feel.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Todd Stroger, who got his golf shirt on, so that means he leaving early. he is
dry snitch.
Thank you,
that ain't
Ruthie.
that
That's
ain't-
a dry snitch.
Ruthie dry snitched. I'm reporting the news. Ruthie was like, I was like, Todd, I was thinking, Todd, I thought I was all excited because I was thinking you was going to go get a jump start on your stuff. I was like, you got to leave out of here to go do your thug thistle. You talking about, Ruthie said, nah, he going to golf. I was like, I was all proud. Then I found out you was going to golf, and I was like,
That's where the deals are made.
Black
Maze, on the golf course.
okay, so
That's what I hear.
You better get on the golf course. So call me for lunch then, because I'll be coming to drive the car. No. Hey, y'all. Did y'all see that the city of Chicago launched its, let me see, what's 216 million plus 250 million plus 250 million plus 112 million plus 155 million plus 132 million. Did you get that?
That was a lot of money.
Ruthie?
That was a lot.
How much is it?
A lot.
Oh, I thought she was. Ruthie be getting them fast fingers. I thought you was taking them down. Ruthie like, shoot, I got work to do. I'm around here checking my emails, and you thinking I'm. Well, anyway, that's how much money the city is spending on its new infrastructure program. Todd, they're going to spend all that. Let me tell you what they're going to do. They're going to repair bridges and viaducts. Let me back up. They plan to spend $250 million fixing bridges and viaducts, another $250 million fixing alleys and streets, $112 million on lighting, $155 million on streets, trees, and bike lanes. And then they're going to spend $132 million on facilities, as well as another $161 million on new vehicles and equipment. It is, the mayor is launching this $2 million, this 2-year capital plan that was announced as part of her 2021 budget. It's part of what she had to do to get the budget passed, right? They said that she expanded the automatic menu, although she is charging them back for that expansion. But we're looking at somewhere over $2 billion. Todd, I was thinking like, man, what do y'all got on y'all list that y'all need to get fixed? And I was wondering. I think that's a good point. Would people call in on that one? 872-259-7474. Ruthie, could you do it?
Yep. 872.
No, I mean turn on the phone.
Oh, yep. 259-7474.
Okay, 872-259-7474. The city is fixing bridges, roads, and all types of projects. And Todd, they're doing it as part of Mayor Lightfoot, in my estimation, her campaign.
Right.
Now, you may ask yourself, how is this kicking off her mayoral campaign, the 2023 mayor's race? And I would tell you, American Ninja Warrior, y'all. Y'all got to see Ruthie do her American, because we got like a tangled web back here. And Ruthie came through. You got to stand and look, like right now she doing the pose, like the freeze pose in between the two cameras. You must dial the number without touching the camera. And if it was like laser beams, like Ruthie would be like, look, now she's doing the back spin. She traced her steps and she is back in her chair. And no, you did not.
I ain't trying to break none of your stuff.
Well, I was just saying, to open up the phone line too. There's no that was like if there was the light, like the like when there's a diamond and they got the red lights and it's the laser beams, and if you touch the laser beam, Ruthie was like, psh, step, step.
Not gonna get me.
Right. I told you she's our American Ninja Warrior too. She dressed in all black too. She got her ninja clothes on. Like she got a ninja suit on. Like she could go from being a ninja to business meeting all in one meeting.
A ninjet.
Yes, ninjet. Better than I could have. Better, yeah, ninjet. Don't you think that's fresh? I thought that was fresh. You know, ninjet.
It's crazy because my mind immediately went to the N word.
Neglect. See that, but that's because they done substituted ninja for. So I didn't mean it that way. But now when you say ninja, you got to be like, all right, now, what you talking about? But I gotta ask you all. Give us a call 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. The city is going to have over $2 billion in infrastructure projects. Do you think, is there something in your neighborhood that they need that you want fixed? Right? So they doing streets and bridges and lights and alleys and lighting. And do you need your alley paved? Tell us what you need fixed. Because I want to see if the mayor's got it on the list. Now, Todd, I just want to tell you, though, that this was the kickoff of the mayor's campaign.
Capital projects are important.
Capital projects are important, but they are also timed to be arriving right along the time that elections come. Did you get that? So the mayor, these projects are expected to be completed when? In 2 years. In 2 years when the mayor is running. Now, if you can also imagine what happens with every project. There's a big old sign that says this project is brought to you by Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot from the city of Chicago that works.
Yeah, but can there be a backlash with construction congestion nowadays?
See, Todd, you won't let me get to you don't let me get to the end.
Okay, go ahead.
No, it's too late. You already did it.
Oh, you were going there?
I was going, but I'll let you have that. So I think the challenge for this mayor is that she has become so widely unpopular that before she will get the glory for the project, she will get the grief from the construction that happens. Now, when you think about this, $2 billion in infrastructure projects means that probably for the next 2 years, you ain't gonna have no regular route to nothing.
Right.
Right? Because if they hitting all of this, they're doing it simultaneously. That means people will be working, but we need also is a work count. Like we need to count by ward how many black, white, Latino people are working on these infrastructure projects. But what will also happen, Todd, is that these projects will be coming to fruition and completion right around the time that she is due up to be reelected, when she is going to be running. And so what you have to balance is, will the backlash that she gets for the projects dissipate enough, and will she have enough ribbon cuttings? Because essentially what happens, Todd, is every day in that final year, and if you pay attention, whether it's Pat Quinn, whether it's the governor, watch, Governor J.B. Pritzker is going to start doing a lot of ribbon cuttings too.
Right.
Because what they do is they take a portion of the budget and they plan for projects that they can launch that will be completed, so that do y'all understand the difference between paid media and earned media? So the difference between paid media and earned media is, as a candidate for governor or a candidate for mayor, you have to buy campaign commercials. Those are the commercials that come on 30 seconds. Hi, I'm Mary Laura Lightfoot. And hi, I'm J.B. Pritzker. And I want you to vote for me. But then there is earned media, which is you create a story that all of the press reports on, and it attaches your name to it, and it is no longer counted. You don't have to pay for it, but you generate a tremendous amount of press from the actual event. So y'all ever notice how every time something happens, there's a ribbon cutting? And then you see the press there, and there's a governor, and the governor has all those people lined up behind them, or the mayor has all those people lined up behind them. Those then become marketable campaign opportunities.
Got it.
For everybody associated. So when you hire a public affairs or a PR agency, they track that. Right? So somebody in the media department is saying, okay, governor, you're doing terrible in Southern Illinois. Here are the 10 projects that we have in Southern Illinois. We're going to schedule you one of those a week to go cut a ribbon. So it seems like during that time, they're like, man, the governor, because people have short memories. So they be like, man, the governor's been down here 20 times in the last 10 weeks. He's been doing, obviously he has been doing all this work. Same thing for the mayor. So when you see this rollout of the capital plan, recognize that all of this infrastructure money has a dual purpose. Now, what I would like to see is a map of all the projects, right? Where are the projects occurring? Because while they launched it at Dawes Park, my question would be, are they going to be launching it and showing it us as the South and West Side and doing what they've been doing and using this to extra implement the Office of New Americans? So do I rebuild Little Village? Remember, what did we just talk about yesterday? $600 million project? Right? So in that $600 million project, trust and believe that a big chunk of the roads that are being repaved and all of that is going to be in that project. Right? Because they offer that up as incentive to the builders. So if you build it, we'll take care of all of the infrastructure around it. So now my question is, how much of this capital plan actually benefits black folks, and how much of the capital plan will be used as part of what we talked about earlier, which is us being part of the exodus of Chicago? So will it be building out South Loop and West Loop, right? The extension of, will this infrastructure be, while we're welcoming it, really the entree, laying the foundation for white folks to conveniently take our space, or Latinos? So now that street that you used to have to ride down that was bumpy, that in Inglewood, that shows all those mansions that are now places that you could live, that are now palatable, that we're about to evict all these people out of here. When you do your home tour and you're driving on the smooth streets, and then now as you're going west, you go through Inglewood and you see this new focal point, $600 million development to your west. And when you go east, you're going to see the Obama Center and everything in Bronzeville changing. We already know that we have not seen the mayor's racial equity rapid response. Again, she told you in her own words, we were doing terribly until we expanded racial equity to include who? The Latino community. As Todd packs up to go play golf, Todd, I'm going to let you get your say bye to the people while you, because I'm dry snitching on you. No. Todd, you got to cut up out of here for a minute. Man, I want you to get some of that good weather. What's up, man? You out of here?
Yeah. You're right, but you know what I'll say is that the Latinos have placed themselves in the space where when something comes up, they are ready to push somebody in there and say, bam, we need, you're doing this, we need this. They do it.
And
succession plans and legacy.
Mm-hmm. That was also very much part of that. Remember when I told you MLI?
Yes.
They had a leadership institute. The key to their leadership institute, though, was that the people that they put in, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it when you're not here. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Peace out, Todd. Peace. Me, enjoy. Ruthie, and Sonia will continue to do our job while you slack on the golf course. Slacker. Where you golfing, man?
Balmoral.
Oh, Todd around here hanging. Hey, man, all I got us to do is say, bring back the bacon. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Ruthie Moore, Sonia Escobar. When we come back, there will be no Todd. We're out.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning.
The Fraternal Order of Police. It is the president, John J. Catanzara Jr.
We all saw the Anjanette Young video.
Naturally, when someone hears, I didn't do it, you got the wrong place, you just discard it. You have an obligation to make sure that the rest of the place that you're doing a search warrant on is secure.
Okay, so you used the word naturally. And when you watch that video, naturally, a natural reaction would have been to provide her with some coverage for her naked body.
Have you ever been to police?
And so
have you ever been to police?
Let me finish my question. So a natural reaction was not what we saw from those white police officers.
A natural police reaction is to secure the scene.
So a natural police reaction is different from a natural
Well, we're
human
talking about
reaction.
police. We're not talking about you going into a building. We're talking about the police going into a building.
Hence why in the beginning of the question, I related it to training. Are police officers trained to not see black people as human? And so police training would make them naturally react to see me as an animal?
I'm not even going to dignify that with an answer because that's just an ignorant statement to make. They went in there looking for an offender.
Who was not there.
Do you know that until you searched the whole place?
They did. They searched and she stood there naked.
And at that point...
After they had the scene secure, she still stood there naked.
Again, I already conceded the fact that they could have did a better job covering her up, but her race had nothing to do with it, and you're going to keep implying it. I'm going to keep telling you you're absolutely wrong.
Let me ask you a
Lack
question.
of training? Is it a lack of proper training?
No.
Oh my God, and I keep telling you, you got the wrong place. You got the wrong place.
The most disrespected person in America is the black woman. We will kill you for our woman.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the green side of things. It's your man, Sadiq.
And Cassiopeia.
Motivated by the days of sandwiches of spam, grilled cheese won't stop me from grilling those who are stealing the peace and safety of the community because they releasing death and destruction on the community. A community where the people look like me and them. A place where mama and them stay. Not too far from where their children stay. You right. I want a peaceful neighborhood, and I'm not moving to the suburbs to have a peaceful neighborhood. Do we really have to take this, acting like we don't recognize this, still cooperate with this? You know what? The hell with this. Ram me behind a mic that's shaped like a middle finger, pointing straight up with my middle finger to any poor politician, dealer, deaf, crooked cop, or lazy parent. It's apparent to create change, you have to have a work ethic that make it seem like you lost your brain, standing out like the Willis Tower. It's a brother that represents dedication, discipline, and dream reaching, accompanied by a voice called power. Who rhyming harder than a rebel with the pen? Representing the city of Point Guards is an extra large MC who rhymes always on point, always rhyming with a point behind the flow. One of my students said the rhyme so hard we should stop calling it flow. Let me tell you something else before I go. I was born to stand tall. I was born in Chicago.
That is Brother William Morris. Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Chicago, homegrown. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 1
to 3 p.m. on
What's in It for the Black People Media.
Shop at Black-owned and operated Solo Beauty, where you are appreciated and respected. Located at 8158 South Cottage Grove, Solo Beauty can supply all of your black hair care needs. Solo Beauty is open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday.
WBGX.
Same stuff, different life. New day, same fight. How it comes, how it goes. One's on top, one's that know. forgot. When you bury a seed, it grows. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know we will overcome. A rose is a rose is a rose. Is a rose is a rose is a rose.
It's a rose, it's a rose, rose. Flower in the ground and growing, growing. It's a rose, it's a rose.
How it comes, how it goes. Different names, still a rose. We grew up, we grew tall. We knew then, we know now. What they forgot, they forgot. When you bury a seed, it grows. I know it. I know it. I know it. I know we will overcome. A rose is a rose is a rose.
Rose. It's a rose.
It's a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose is a rose.
It's a rose, it's a rose, rose. A flower in the ground and growing, growing. It's a rose, it's a rose.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
up, Chicago! Wake up, world! This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my co-host, Ruthie Moore. I was about to say, but
he gone.
He went golfing. Trying to get up out
Allegedly.
Here. See, there you
I
go.
say allegedly because we just.
You dry snitching. See, now he might have told. See, now he could have been saying he was golfing, and you see, Ruthie, dry snitching. See, nobody even had no questions. We could just been on the golf course. Now everybody like, can you wear those kind of shoes on the golf course?
Listen, Todd got that Garmin watch that his wife gave him as a gift, and he don't even know.
He's right. First of all,
he don't even know.
He don't even know. We gonna let him be. Like, he ain't even got an iPhone, Apple Watch. He got the Garmin. That's like your location and time. That's it. All right. We have been asking. The mayor's unveiled the infrastructure campaign plan. I keep telling y'all, she gonna have her name on every corner you turn.
They stopped putting people's name on stuff.
No, that was the state level.
After Blagojevich got out of control.
State level. They was like, she gonna make them. Let me tell you, and as much as she likes to see her name, and as much ego as she got, I am the mayor. I think what would be hilarious is if the alderman said that there can no longer be any names on the sign.
Now that would be
if I was the
petty
progressive caucus to the socialists. I don't think that taxpayer dollars should be used. It should be like, this project is funded by the taxpayers of the city of Chicago.
You gonna use that socialism against them?
Yes. I think the socialists in us I do not want to be driving around the city and everything I see say the mayor.
Why? If it's nice.
It's not though. It's just a reminder of, I'll be thinking of the TikTok when she said move along. Right? I'll be thinking about what fires. No, I think you're full of chicken. I don't want to see her name.
I think it's 100% full of ish.
Thank you. Do you have a project though in your neighborhood that you want the mayor to add to her list? We trying to make a list.
I think now was definitely a good time to put in them 311 requests.
Well, I'm gonna forget the 311 requests. I want mine I'm gonna take my list straight to the city council, to the mayor, because it's this turnaround at Adams and Oakley. Lord have mercy. If they don't fix the streets, and then they're like, when you come over the bridge on when you
got a list.
I got a list. Cause when you come over the bridge on Western, when you go underneath the viaduct and you're coming over Western, and it's like when you getting from like the what's the name of that school? It's whatever that's right over on Western at like 25th. When you come over the bridge though, you're coming over the bridge at 20, and then they got like a bump at the bottom. So it's like you hit a bump that's not supposed to be. It's like they got a speed bump at the bottom of the bridge.
Oh, it's a speed bump?
It's not a speed. It's a bump that has come.
Horrible infrastructure.
Yep. And you know what else I want them to do? I want them to, when they cut those pieces out of the street, I want them to make a ramp. Like, I don't want them to cut it. Do you know what I'm talking about? So when you're driving down the street and they'll cut a patch out of it, and it'll be like asphalt, and then there's like a cut, and it'll be like 4-6 feet, and it's only about an inch, 2 inches. But you dip down into it and you come back up. In the white neighborhoods, they smooth it. So you don't go boom, 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 boom. You go.
But they want people to slow down?
No, they're fixing the street. But it's literally like a 2-inch, like they'll cut a lane about the size of 2 sidewalk squares. And they will, and you hit, instead of you can smooth it, or you can just make it a 2-inch drop. Now, the 2-inch drop isn't so bad, but it's when your front tires hit that 2-inch trying to come out of it, right? It messes up. It just is and you get do, and it's like, man, you be mad.
Suspension.
Right. I think the best road in the city is Lower Wacker.
Why you say that?
Have you been on Lower Wacker? When's the last time you drove on Lower Wacker?
I generally get lost going down there.
You know what? It's so easy. You just gotta look out the window, look out the side, so you can see where you at. on the bridge, and it's really. I used to get lost down there all the time. It's so simple. You get off at Adams, like you can see everything. If you look at the river, you can literally see where you're supposed to be getting off at. Like you can see it on the other side.
I can't get it. I cannot get it.
I'm gonna tell you, I love driving down it now because you can get from the traffic that takes you literally 45 minutes to get through. You can be Lower Wacker. You done in like 7. Like, and it's worth the train. But I was just wondering what projects you got in your neighborhood. You got anything they need to fix in your neighborhood, Ruthie?
100%.
What you think?
I would like an arrow, a left turn arrow on 83rd and Cottage, going north when you turn in left onto 83rd. Can we just get like a 5-second arrow, Michelle Harris? I think that would cut down, because what I noticed is that when you don't have arrows for people turning, when people turn, people are anticipating right before that light turns green, they go, because they know that they are going to get trapped, because it's, I think what happened was the stoplights were put in before like neighborhood density and populations got too big, but now it's nearly impossible to make that turn without running the red light at the end. You know how you got to go out there and you sit out there in the traffic and you wait for the light to turn, and the person behind you do the same thing. So
and
now both of y'all running the red light.
And y'all inching, trying to get up
and
enough.
they honking at you. And
So Alderman Harris, we need to get that light fixed on 83rd Street. I want to know, how does the mayor get these projects on the list? I bet you if you plot them out, though, they're going to be in all the main thoroughfares, so everybody can see she did it. Let's go to the phone lines. Ruthie, tell people phone number, because we want to know if y'all got a project in your neighborhood that you need fixed. You need a street light somewhere. They spending $132 million on street lights. And I also want to know, how do you get the fancy street lights? Because, you know, when you drive, have you driven down Halsted from 18th to Roosevelt?
Are they like solar?
No. They are like brown and pretty cool with flower pots hanging off of them. And people drive by and they water the flower pots. And I'll be like, hold on.
On those trucks.
Yeah. And it's like, these street lights, who got that budget?
You know what that made me think of?
What?
City contracts. Anytime I see anybody watering, trimming, and I'm just like, oh, I hate that my brain does this. But how much they just get paid to water them flowers?
They got paid a lot. And then
That's
you
what
notice,
I'm saying.
and can I tell you something? I think black people know how to water flowers.
I think we do too.
I'm just telling you, apparently not according to the city of Chicago if you drive one of these trucks. What you got that needs fixed in your neighborhood? Ruthie, tell them the phone number.
The number is 872-259-7474.
7474. 872-259-7474. It's hard for me to say that sometimes, though. Frank, you're on the Maze Jackson Show. What's going on, my brother?
Oh, no. Good morning, my brother Maze.
Good morning.
Sister Ruthie and Sonia, how y'all doing?
Morning.
Great.
Good morning.
Hey, you guys, what's going on? We need to get it going on, because ain't nothing going on for us. And I do have a project that I will call in and actually be fixing. It's that viaduct on 16th Street going west right before you hit Cicero. Ever since I was a little boy, there's been the raggediest viaduct in the city and Nassau. So, but I want to speak on what you're saying about this big infrastructure plan. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a great thing, my brother. If you're Hispanic or immigrant, okay, they gonna make a lot of money. And white, they gonna make a lot of money. Okay, well, first of all, it should start in our neighborhood, but you just watch, like you said, Brother May. No all black crew are we gonna be able to see. There's going to be black people on those crews. There's going to be black women holding those signs that one side says slow, other side says stop, okay? And that is it. But, Brother Mays, let me just say right quick, this $60 million they talking about finding someone to talk to black people is a waste of money. Who should they give it to? This how backwards they think when it comes to us. What's wrong with taking that $60 million and giving it directly to black people to come in and take that shot? $250 a shot.
Oh, dang, Frank. People be taking them shots all day.
$500 check coming in the mail. If you take the one shot Johnson, you got a $500 check coming in the mail. Now, before you say it, Brother Mays, because you're one of the best critical thinkers I ever encountered, before you say it, there is a way it can be done where there could absolutely be no cheating. Now, what's wrong with doing that right there? You come out less with than $60 million spending.
Oh.
You're going to pay someone to talk to us. People are already talking to us, and it's doing no good. But this project with this infrastructure, for those who don't see it yet, this should wake you up how this mayor, once again, is going to give us the middle finger. Okay? And that's exactly where I see it. They finna make a lot of money. They finna get a lot of jobs, not us. Thank you, my brothers and sisters.
Thank you, Brother Frank. Dang, Brother Frank be trying to work it out for the phone line. He is like, it is going to be great for if you white, an immigrant, or Hispanic. Ruthie, can we get, okay, I know you the official caper for the mayor. Can you get her to give us a map of all the projects and the value of each project? Because, see, then here's what I want to do. I want to add up the projects by ward, and then I'm going to match that with race and ethnicity.
Uh-oh.
Why you say uh-oh?
Well,
Racial Equity Rapid Response Team, they got an award, a mayoral award of honor.
Don't people got to bid on these projects?
Yeah, I'm sure. But I'm sure that there's probably going to be some of those like open source contracts where basically what they do, you know how it works. The open source contract, look, we're going to open up the bid to 300 companies, and there'll be one black company that'll be in the mix that probably, that's who they'll parade around.
Does the aldermanic menu money factor into this?
Yes. $216 million. They're going to take part of this money from street repair. They're going to take some of this money will be coming from the menu. So in essentially the mayor inflated the number to then take it back, right? And to give it to the projects. Remember Anthony Bill came on and talked to us about it. He was like, yeah, they're going to give us more. They took the menu money, but basically they're getting charged back for it. So it's your project. You get to put your name on it, but it's the city determines it. So I'm just curious, do y'all have any projects, anything that needs to get fixed in your neighborhood? Something that they finna spend $2 billion. I sure hope. I would hate to wake up and they spend $2 billion and we drove past the signs on our way to work and our way back from home, and none of the projects was in our neighborhood. Like they gonna build.
I think the mayor already said it's gonna be on the south side, the west side, and downtown.
So south side. Let's be clear.
You talking about the South Loop?
I'm not talking about the South Loop. I'm talking about Little Villages South. Pilsen is South. What you talking about?
That's true.
Brighton Park. Oh, that's South. What you talking about? West? Come on now. You just heard. You just saw Mike Rodriguez. Remember when I was talking about the people at Douglas Park, and they was like, oh no, half that park is theirs. Y'all, South and West Side is See, this is those words, those code words that they use that don't mean us, but we just assume they do. Now, they say South and West Side code for black, but if you were to ask any alderman or any elected official, they would tell you that in the places that we traditionally think we occupy, they are now being encroached upon. And as they say South and West Side, you nod your head and say yes, but that ain't the same South and West Side that you know that they're talking about. Does that make sense?
It does.
So now you be jumping up and down because that's why I've been so adamant about specifically black. Because, and I'm going to find the very first What's in It for the Black People when I did it as a commentary. Because it really explains it. All of these code words from community to South and West Side to people of color to all of them only diffuse our power. They allow us, remember in cannabis, disproportionately impacted communities. And then the white boys moved into those neighborhoods and then, right? And so if you stop saying all of these other things and focus on black or whatever derivative of that, but you know what the hell I mean, then we move. But every time we allow ourselves to be wrapped up into these coded, non-specific names, we wind up getting shorted. Is there anybody that would disagree with me that when you say South and West Sides, you think black? But is there anybody that would disagree with me when I say that the South and West Sides are rapidly being repopulated with other people? Look at the 15th Ward. The 15th Ward was a all-black ward in Inglewood at one point. It now has a Latino alderman. I think about driving down 55th Street, and there was a time when you drove 55th Street from at least Kedzie East, and it was black. You cross Western, you like, yo, what's up? I lived in the 18th Ward on the southwest side in Ashburn. There was a time when it was black up to Cicero and the white people lived on Cicero. Now, if you go to the southwest side, the Latinos are now all the way up to Kedzie. Right? The next step for them is Western. Now think about driving down 83rd Street West. And you get to Western and that starts to you get to Kedzie and now you're moving to from Western to Kedzie is black, but it used to be Western to Pulaski was black.
Whoa.
So when you hear these projects and when you hear this South and West Side, understand that a 2-year project, a project that comes to fruition over 10 years, is not for you. It is for the, remember they gave us a plan that said that in 10 years they were going to make the face of, so that's who that's for. All of it, it all makes sense when you put it together.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at them in separate silos, if you look at it as the mayor just told us, hey, she's doing this infrastructure plan, and we like, woohoo! Well, you woohooing for something you ain't gonna never benefit from. I think about when they built the new high school over in the southwest side. We were excited to build the high school, and we were thinking about naming it Barack Obama High School, but they were building a high school not for the black people there, but for the Latinos that were coming in the future. And it had every new type of infrastructure, anything, and we were excited, and the black people advocated for the high school only to be excavated from the area. And so that state-of-the-art high school that we fought for is no longer ours. What project you got? Kind of fix it. Don't you hate the thought that you fixing up the crib for somebody else to take it? Kind of deep, huh?
I'll leave all the water running.
I'm gonna take all the copper.
Leaving the water running. No, I think you are spot on, Maze. I think sometimes we forget, and it's about to sound really like crazy, but I think sometimes we forget to read. Like we forget to read the plans. And by the time we read them, we like, whoa, they did this, knowing that this plan been up and it's been readily available for a minute. And I think sometimes we be so late to the party.
I think we don't even believe fat meat is greasy.
Or won't even be known.
I think, and the challenge is like we're complicit in our own demise. Like I'm like my thing is, I think about, okay, I'm not gonna shade the alderman, but I think about y'all voting for this office of New Americans. Like, who saw that and said, this is cool? Like, who saw that? Like, there's
societal pressure.
Ruthie, I'm saying, like, there's nobody that I've showed that to that's black that's like, what? Hold on. Like, white people are mad about that.
Yeah, but think about when those like, it's societal pressure. And
because they say you're a racist, you're against immigrants, you're a homophobe, you're a misogynist, you're all of that, and so you got to shut up and take it. In the meantime, they are imperializing you.
They got to take it because who is going to have their backs when they say, "Nah, this ain't right"? Remember, this this some new black unity consciousness that's just now happening. So when them plans were written, them aldermen probably felt like, let me just be quiet about this, because if I say something, then the target is gonna be on my back. Who I have not heard very many black, local, national politicians talk on that side of the proliferation of Latino populations. Because ain't nobody talking like that.
And it's so crazy to me. It's so funny because I almost feel like it's people are used to our dysfunction. I was thinking about like just even all of the fellas that came together and people interjecting from outside of our community saying, like telling us who we could talk to.
It's the Democratic Party. And I think that factors into it. Because if you are a part of the Democratic Party, then it is the welcoming party. And you have to keep that, you got to keep that narrative going in order to fit in with the larger, the larger way that the Democratic Party is going.
So Democrat first before black.
I think Democrat first, absolutely. Because the Democratic Party is seen as the welcoming party, with the divisions being even more splintered. We just got out of the age of Trump, who had some really tough rhetoric related to immigration and Latinos. So can you really see a Democrat agreeing with that? Because remember, Trump was like Trump. So it's the way that the climate was sort of set up. It's like you better get behind this immigration stuff.
But I feel you on that. I feel like that's sort of how they're used. And I feel like the Latinos, and let me not just say Latinos, the immigration community is smart enough to leverage that against us, right? Where they be like, okay, this is right now the time to push. Look at the Adam Toledo situation. Like the Adam Toledo situation, take out the death. Like you heard them positioning for more economic resources based on that. Right? They are leveraging to create more power. They are leveraging the death of Adam Toledo to further advance immigrant causes, which I'm not mad at them, but like who stops and says like, yo, how does this all work for us? Like when you read that plan for New Americans, and then they come on your TV show and tell you, we got $37 million for violence prevention and we gonna go get more. And y'all got to come to us. Y'all got violence exploding in your neighborhoods, but you got to pay us who have proven not to be your ally when it comes down to it to stop the violence in your neighborhood. You got to come through you tell all your Negro organizations that actually are doing the work that don't have the money or the economic resources, come to the people who are looking to replace you to save you. Because they got 37 million. Y'all got $500,000. So now I'm going to drive the black people who are looking to survive to our Latino agencies while at the same time funding them so that they can create the discourse and discord among black folks, because they got black folks fighting over resources that are supposed to be in our community. So we fighting black people over black people to get to the Latinos who are going to hand you pennies on the dollar. $37 million went to one community over 2 years. $37 million for violence prevention. $37 million. Huh? Tell me $37 million invest. And I'm saying to myself, you are telling me that there is nobody that has the ability to speak for black people on this issue? That is why May 3rd is so important. Because literally, your birthright is being stolen in front of your face. Literally. Like, straight up. As we push forward the Black and Brown Coalition, and y'all read this document that clearly says that they are making a plan for life without you. They literally wrote it. And they got the names of the organizations who signed off on it. Like, somebody literally came to Chicago, had a meeting, and said, we are going in what many people would call the ADOS capital of the world. The black people here are straight. This ain't West Indian. This is black from Mississippi, Alabama, straight off the boat, Arkansas slavery. This is where we came when they were killing us in the South. This is where we came to establish ourselves, and now we are about to be extracted from the land.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. It's been happening.
I'm with you.
And some of it we did to ourselves. And so now as we try to untangle, it's hard to make progress when you got to keep backtracking to untangle. And we find ourselves keep backtracking to untangle. So while they got the office and the paperwork and the plan, we like, oh, whoa, they have really made some progress. And now we looking at ourselves like, so I can't be mad.
I'm not mad at anybody. What I am going to say though is, it's like there's a moment, like you could sleep for 50 years.
Yep.
Rip Van Winkle. But when you wake up, you are not required to stay asleep. You are not required to say, okay, I'm going to accept what happened while I was asleep. And if it did, I can't change it, but I'm not going to keep staying asleep.
Okay, so I think being sleep and having somebody crush up some sleeping pills and put them in your stuff is different things. You waking up different from those two things.
I'm with you on that. But what you do know is you woke up after them pills and your clothes is a little tussled. Maybe you ain't got your pants on. Maybe something but at the end of the day, you know when you woke up, you got loved on. You got intercoursed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you going to lay down and stay getting intercourse and close your eyes and pretend like you just, hopefully they'll go away? Or you going to wait for them to come back?
Or you just going to take your check off the nightstand and go about your day?
Dang.
I'm just saying we have multi-layered. We just got issues. We got too many issues. We got to untangle.
Dang.
I would be super curious to know the effectiveness of that funding in Little Village and how it was used and the organizations that got it and what are the accountability metrics. Like, how are they measuring effectiveness?
Well, let's say $37 million to Little Village. Let's say that the crime rate is up 29%.
Since last year.
Yep. So that means that right. But think about $37 million in a year, though, for violence prevention. Like, you could have paid everybody to stay home. No, I'm serious. Like, literally, you could have been like, let's have a meeting, just like Brother Frank said with this $60 million. Mm-hmm. If you told black people it was a check for $250 to get that shot, if they giving you their plasma and they giving you their blood and they I tell you what, y'all talking crazy. People be right up in there taking the shot. Now, I am just, y'all, what we gonna do, Ruthie?
I'm moving to Little Village.
Well, at least we got you off the white man. So you can live in Little Village. We cool with that, but don't become. I'm gonna tell you what. Don't be coming up here. Don't come to the parties dancing no bachata.
You know, I think we need to re-examine, like, again and again and again and again, the gatekeepers. And that is that's the part where,
who are the gatekeepers?
Exactly.
What is a gatekeeper though, Ruthie? Because I think that the gatekeeper is like really the sexy way of. I don't think there are no black gatekeepers right now. Like, honestly, like in this administration, I think who people are auditioning to try and get to gatekeeper status. But I believe that the mayor. No, I believe that the mayor was so anti-blackness that she left all the gatekeepers to the side. Right? Like, remember when she went to the fundraiser and was like, they was all, she went to their joint and kind of said, y'all up in here having a party trying to get on my side, but y'all really need to be out in the streets. Y'all remember when she did that? She went straight up to their party. Like they had a party, like, let's let bygones be bygones. All the rich black people got together, put money together and said, Lori, we was with you. They was like, she was like, no, y'all wasn't. And she basically told them, like, y'all up in here teetotaling and having all this good time when y'all really need to be doing more work in the streets. Now, she ain't said that to no white people, right? But I think that Lori kicked all the gatekeepers that we know to the side. Now, she has people that she's done business with.
because most of them, they were supporting Tony Preckwinkle.
Got you. But, again, thus leaving her with no real gatekeepers and actually in opposition to those gatekeepers, but gatekeepers, quote unquote, have learned that even as they've auditioned for the spot, that she is of she who speaks with forked tongue. So the things that the tools in the toolbox and the benefit of being a gatekeeper under Rahm or Daley does not exist, right? That's not necessarily a pathway to business. That's not necessarily a pathway to getting invited to the, right? The status of gatekeeper. And so, like, we all niggas now. No, we are. And there are, I hear that there are people, now Lori is recognizing that she has no refuge with black folks. Now what is happening is she has become the white club that all the white kids stopped going to. And now the black people are able to occupy the space. Right? So you know how like the nightclub industry work. When there's a new hot club, all the white people go to it and the security they don't want no black people, they don't want no chains, they don't want no jeans, they don't want no whatever. But white people have options, whereas black folks don't. So then the white folks, there's another new hot place, and the white folks go to that new hot place, and now the place that didn't want black people is now like, man, let them Negroes in because they buy bottles, because now you got to pay rent. So now you change your DJ, now you ain't playing techno, EDM, now you playing, whoa, swag and surf, and whoa, and doing all that, and people doing swag and surfing over your French toast for breakfast and all that.
Oh, goodness.
Right? And Lori is there now. So now what happens is she's the fire sale. So now what people are doing is doing the countdown for 2 years and seeing how much, like the gatekeepers have changed into vultures who are now saying, how can I get as much out of her over these next 2 years while propping her up and bringing her to places and putting up shields and blinders to be like, no, you can recover. The black people will forgive you.
I would argue that.
What would you argue?
That gatekeeping in the black community historically has been about vulturism.
I'd agree with that.
So now my thing is, again, it's back to trust. So where do we start? We have no starting points.
I think that it starts with us. Okay, so
you start just like the Latino community. It starts with coming together
under
a common thing.
Nah, you messed
What's the
up.
common cause?
The common cause right now is this Office of Black Americans.
So are we uniting around our need for blackness? An office?
Not for an office, not for a political office. I think that we.
I mean, like an office of black.
Yeah, I would say
the office of the blacks.
I would say that this initial thing is we're asking people to collaborate. And I think that the first part is to start with collaborations and people to keep their word in the collaboration, right? In this first action, which will be this march, right? So everybody's responsible for bringing some people. So you've got a list of things that you got to do to participate. I think at the end of that, we assess and we see who was able to do what they said, who kept their word, who didn't. And we start to build a group, right? And we start to build trust. And a lot of times when you build that group, those people that are in that group are also parts of other groups. Now, Ruthie, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
When we start letting women come.
Oh, women invited?
Not yet.
So? You thinking we don't care?
When,
So
when we let you come, then we gonna put you. I'm gonna put you on. I'm nominating you for the secretary.
Oh, what a joy!
See, Ruthie, secretary.
What a joy!
We proud of you. See, it's a place for women.
Mm-hmm.
Secretary.
Mm-hmm.
You could be a corresponding secretary. Nah, y'all. I think that trust is a challenge in the black community.
That is the number one thing that we are up against. If you think about it, just think about it. Trust. Like we got to get over so much. We don't trust each other. We don't trust our elected officials. We don't trust the business people. We don't trust the people who the social services people. It's like we have such a lack of trust. And then when people start telling you, hold on now, we got to get unified. Just trust me. It's like, no.
That's how I feel.
So we got to keep working at it.
That's my point, right? And so
you said yesterday, baby steps, right?
Yep. Baby steps, right? And recognize that there's going to be detractors in the process.
Detractors, defactors, and lackers.
And cutthroatness, and it'll be tattletalers, and all of those things will happen.
You mean some snitching?
Not dry snitching, like straight snitching.
Like some wire wearing?
Like some, well, the thing is, I got this. So the funny thing about people wearing wires is, I have a thing that can tell if you was wearing a wire. So I just be like, if I get quiet, then follow my lead.
That's why you don't never say nothing when. No, I'm just
oh, so that time. Oh, all right.
Let's do this real quick. I want to take a moment. We only got a few minutes left. But I was just thinking, like, as time has been moving by, and I talked about what do we lose. I want to take a moment to acknowledge the people that we have lost over the course of this year. I was thinking, this weekend with everything that was happening, I saw a video that crossed my screen. And the video that crossed my screen was of some guys riding in a giant SUV 4x4 with DMX plastered on the side. And it dawned on me that I remember when Biggie died. I remember when Pac died. I remember. But death has become so commonplace over this last year that it's almost like we kind of say, we chalk it up. And I wanted to, and I thought about the Oscars. And I thought that this Oscar, we set the camera, we set the VCR, or not the VCR. We set the DVR because we wanted to catch the tribute to Chadwick Boseman, who we lost this year. Like, the Black Panther died. Like, the gravity of that. And it didn't happen. And then the Oscars had their tribute to people who passed away. And it went so fast. And it was like, Chadwick Boseman, boom, boom. Mm. And it feels to me like death in this COVID has become so commonplace. Commonplace to the point where we don't even stop and acknowledge it. Or we acknowledge it with a quick social media post. We hope to get some hearts, some likes, a little digital sympathy, and we move on. And people have been removed from our lives. And I'm going to say this. I have changed my perspective on death in that after I lost my big bro, I felt like we had one, probably as close as I've come to crying in my adult life was that. And I cried because of what was taken from me. Then I thought about, and I didn't cry. Let me be clear. I almost cried. I had to look all the way straight up. My head was looking directly at the ceiling because I think if I would have looked straight ahead, they probably would have fell. But I couldn't. So I just looked at the ceiling for 2 hours until I got it together. But then when I looked straight ahead, I happened to look down and there was a mirror. And in the mirror, I saw myself, but I saw the reflections of all of the memories that I had with my big bro. And I thought to myself, how many people have lost someone during this past year and a half? And how much time do we stop to acknowledge it? And so I don't want to look at the losses, and I want to encourage everybody who lost someone this year not to look at them from what was taken away from you, but what they left with you, what they gave you while they were here. Think about all of those laughs. Think about all those smiles. Think about all the crazy times. Think about the trials, the tribulations, all of the things that you had to go through together that got you to this point. And I'm going to tell you, this weekend, this week we lost Humpty Hump. I think about the good time. I mean, it's like I can always, as we have these moments, I can think of all of the great times that I've had with people. Mm-hmm. And I want you to focus on those. Right? I've seen people that have said, I see it every day. Somebody says someone was taken from me. My angel was gone, has left this earth. And so as they leave this earth, I'm going to encourage you to share the best of what they had, what they poured into you, with the world. Mm-hmm. Two people that I want to take a quick moment to acknowledge this week who have lost people. Shout out to my man, Cam Buckner. State Representative Cam Buckner lost his father this week. So got a text yesterday that just said, brother, I can't make it this week. I lost my father this weekend and I'm trying to take care of responsibilities. And I want to make sure that we send our prayers out. That's our guy. President Pro Tem Jahan Gordon Booth lost her father this week as well. And I'm going to tell you, watching the video of her and her daddy dancing as her tribute made me say, let's enjoy the moments. Right, y'all? We've been living virtually, vicariously through these phones, through video chats that Ruthie won't turn her camera on for. But I'm going to tell you that we have to get back to each other. And as we think about this virtual world that we've been living in, that we've been forced into, the people that we haven't seen, may never see again, just want to encourage you to remember the best. And as we make it through and come out of this pandemic, we got to come back, and we got to come back better. I've spent the last year talking to you about all of the bad things that have befallen us. But I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I know it's going to take baby steps. I know it's going to take work. I know it's going to be trials. It's going to be tribulation. But when I think about all of those relationships, of all of those people, I think about all of that we had to go through to get to the point that would make me have to stare at the ceiling for 3 hours. And in full measure, all of the trials and tribulations were worth the outcome of the relationships. And so I just want to apply that same thing. Over this last year, we have suffered devastating losses in our community. But even through that, like y'all, we saw George Floyd get killed, murdered in our face, but look at what it is springing forth. There is a sacrifice that comes with freedom. There is a sacrifice that comes with this war that we are in. But at the end, we have an opportunity for victory. So I just want to send out to everybody, every single person who has lost someone over the course of this year. I just want to let y'all know, man, it's a brighter side. You know, I spend a lot of time with gloom and doom. A lot of time with gloom and doom. Sometimes I worry if I hurt the energy of people. But I'm just going to tell you that there is no victory without sacrifice. And I would just say that every person that we've lost will be looking down on us, smiling when we reach our victory. And I believe that black unity will happen. And I think that it takes devastating moments in time to change the trajectory. I believe we're there. And so every person that was lost, to every person that's lost a family member, do me a favor and try not to dwell on the fact that they're not here. Do me a favor and dwell on the things that they brought and that they left and that they poured into you while you were here. Now, I'm going to wrap this up. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show. For Maze, Ruthie, you got anything you want to say?
You just said that very, very eloquently. It was very nice. It was very pastoral.
Uh-oh.
I know. But I think you got a calling on your life and some untapped gifts.
Uh-oh.
But we'll talk.
Wow.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. No, Maze, but you are spot on, right? And two, I think it's about when you treat people a certain way, when they pass on, it lives inside of you because you already know what it is. So you got to hold on to that.
Kim, Jahan, everybody, Sonia Escobar, everybody, Dion, everybody that we know that has lost someone. We with you, man. And let's make their lives worthwhile. Like, they didn't see it. Everybody not going to make it to the promised land. But I do think we have an opportunity to get here. Look, y'all, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show. So for Maze and Sonia and Ruthie and Todd the golfer, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. What's in it for the black people? What's in it? What's in it for the black people? I'm in it. For the black people. 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 What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black people? Let's show it. What's in it for the black people? You know it. What's in it for the black